I am in the wind, so I have no earthly idea how well this is going to record, and I have no earthly idea if it is recording at all because my headset might be faulty. So, with all those things in mind, I'm still doing this because I feel I must. I don't want to teach right now because, except for I Magi and Realms of the Beloved, and the LOC Institute and its work with the creation exercises, because it's too hard to go deep fast, and we are in a deep recursion of the past ending and the new future rising. And since 99% of all humanity thinks that the future lives in outer circumstances and not in the inner nature of self, you can see it would be a slow boil, difficult to get to, and not too many people be interested because we have been mesmerized into thinking that the only reality that we are to be part of. Uh, my daughter's dog, Dale, who is now trying to play with me. That's my working on the honeysuckle behind me. They So I just decided, and a long time ago when we started the Spirals of Being, I knew that the most powerful thing a human being can ever do is to be transparent about their own journey. 99% of humanity may still think it's only about finding answers to solve problems, but the true gift of being a human being is when we're sharing our journey. Sharing our journey because in that journey of a shared field, we are no longer corrupted by the outer world because we can be in our own thinking and sharing our own thinking, our own observations with others. So I've been going through a really hard time. If my goal was to take drugs or to develop a psychology of perception or belief to get me out of the difficult time I've been in, then I would have done that. But I prefer the difficult time because what I can tell, as I shared yesterday on my Facebook Live, what I can tell is that my body is the source of embodiment, not not my personality, and not my views about the world. And that I'm watching this, and a lot of people say they don't want to go on because they think the outer world is the source of their fulfillment. They think that what's wrong with the world, and there is a lot wrong, can't be solved by their actions, and they don't realize that the fundamental design of the world we were born into was designed by a consciousness that went against life and what had no capacity in its design to have us exist as whole. But inside ourselves, we do. We have the ability to exist as whole. And as a child, a young teenager, and as a young adult, I was abused physically and sexually, not by rape. But the truth is that all that time when I was young and going through all those things, I had two perceptions that I held to. One was that I refused to be a victim, and that no matter what happened to me, kind of like being in a worldwide concentration camp, that I was going to find the magic of life. I was going to find my spirit, and I was going to be inspirited no matter what. And it wasn't an easy walk. It wasn't easy. There was a lot of work being done about recovering from trauma. It's a big deal. And I had a different bent, although I did do that work too. But my real bent was I needed to generate a world I loved. I needed to be faithful to what I held to be real. And of course, that's come into the creation templates and other things and my unity with creation. And so it was 76 last Saturday, and we've been doing a lot of work on embodiment. A global group of ourselves has, and others coming in to partake from time to time. And across the world, there is the next recursion of human awakening is confronting embodying our memory of paradise within ourselves in the face of being at the effect of that which was not that. So, as I said in my Facebook Live on yesterday on my on my personal page, um, I was just informing you, and I am informing you tonight, sitting with me, and Esme's behind me, and we have hopefully a storm of water moving in. That would really be great. But I just don't, if it's possible to reach anybody, to hear my words and to use them to cling to use them to gain strength, stamina, capacity for what's before us, that's my only interest. Yeah, I appreciate the consults, the engagements, and the activations because we have to go deep fast. I think we have to constantly be eroding the perception of reality we're born into, simply because it's not what we want. You may hold it to be real, but we also don't know we don't want that. And so that what we don't want, what we know we don't want means there is something we do want, and we can awaken that in our own consciousness. We can awaken that in our own nature of being. We can awaken that in ourselves. And this next period of time it's been building into being really rough because that which has been held to be real has its claws in us, has its tendrils in our very psyche, has its tendrils in our body. So I am all the things that other people are, and of course we're not supposed to be. We're supposed to not be any of these things. I'm despondent. I feel futile. I don't have much. I sleep a lot. I know that the recall in my body is of what made me feel futile, what made me feel despondent in the past, what made me want to give up, what made me want. I know I'm in the past. I know my body's in the past, but I'm so clear that as a seer and as a prophetess and as a mystic and as a generator of matrices within which new futures can rise, I would not be going through this if my system wasn't clearing for a new future. I know most people are interested in their personal future, and that's certainly enough. I'm interested in the global future, but it must take each person, each one of us, one by one, to be able to make it through this next period of time, getting support, being with each other, reaching out, clawing our way out of the avalanche, clawing our way out of the quicksand, clawing our way out of the earth falling, the dirt, falling into the earth, falling, feeling like we're falling into the dirt beneath us and being overcome by it. There's lots of ways to support us through this, but from what I can understand from my healers, one of the most key events now is the through line, being able to support ourselves going through it, not recovering from it, but going through it, walking it again to the other side. Anyway, I love you. I'm sitting in the back of my home. My wind calmed down a bit for me to be able to do this with you. And it really is, my purpose is just to reach whoever I can as fast as I can, and to have us be hopeful when we have no hope, visionary when we feel futile, kind and tender with ourselves when we find ourselves immobilized and just need to be in the beautiful activity of self-care. There's a phrase that two healers have used with me, and for the life of me, I can't remember it. But it has to do with being responsible for one's own awakening as best as one can. And part of that, hold on, wait for a plane to go by. Part of our ability to be responsible for our own awakening is to reach out and to get help and to not be ashamed of that. I'm one of the most self independent, self-generating people I know, and I have a team of people supporting me right now, and I would love to do that for you. Do you know it's strange? Human beings go, I don't want to bother you. You're in your own healing, but we're in the healing. We're in a collective healing, and our own awareness is being built by being with others in the field and working it out together, because it's happening to all of us at some level. I'm just more transparent than most, and I've never wanted to promote that I have the answer, but I do know how to take the path. Anyway, I love you. The sun is now completely in my face, and which I love. It feels good to feel the sun in my face, even though it would have been nice if I could have had rain. Um, so I don't know. All I know is my system no longer wants to live in the trauma of the past, and it's living it through to get rid of it, to have me be different in the face of it, to have me not buy it, to have me not succumb to it, because those feelings have always been there. They've just been suppressed by being entertained and gratified and hoping the outside world will fit what our inner world craves. But it's our inner world that lays the seeds for those cravings to be realized. Anyway, the Language of Consciousness Institute is, I think every Monday they do a video worth watching. I'm doing Create a World because that is really geared for us to generate a new paradigm within which future is not the same as what it'll be for this devolutionary timeline that we're in. And then I do iMagi, and I do realms, and I do personal consults and personal activations, all to support this time. And I'm not separate from it, and neither are you. This time, honey, we're all in it together. And to use each other as resources effectively is part of that magic. Take precious care.